there guys, how's it going? Thank you very much for tuning your tube to SpreadTheLoveNotSTDs. This is Storytime Tuesday, a weekly series where I go over a moment in my life and talk about it in story format. And today's episode, we're going to talk about how my channel began, and believe it or not, it actually did not begin as a gaming channel or a Walking Dead channel. This channel actually began in 2010, where I had the idea of creating a YouTube channel based around providing relationship advice and life advice in general. But fair to say that it didn't end up the way I wanted it to, but that's where the title Spread the Love, Not STDs came from. Back in 2010, when I just graduated high school, I had this idea where I said, hey, back in high school, I used to give relationship advice to all my friends. People would come to me for any advice. They were going through something, if they believed they were getting cheated on, if they wanted to do better for themselves, they'd come to me. So I thought, hey, let me take the one thing that I know, that I'm very comfortable with, that I'm very comfortable talking to on a microphone, and just start with that. And believe it or not, my first video started as kind of like a podcast style of video where a friend of mine and I were talking about the difference between getting cheated on emotionally and getting cheated on physically. And I vaguely remember it. I don't have the audio or the video for it, unfortunately, but I vaguely remember it being around a 15 to 20 minute podcast style recording over Skype. And I just remember the various perspectives that her and I had about the situation. And for me personally, I concluded that I believe emotionally cheating on someone means more towards the relationship itself. But I think being physically cheated on hurts more just overall, because I feel like getting physically cheated on is more of a physical action as opposed to emotionally cheating on somebody. I still think that, they're both terrible actions to do, but that's a different story for a different day. Anyway, so, this channel was never meant to be a gaming channel or a vlogging channel, and I didn't necessarily want to do that on YouTube, but back in that time, I think Call of Duty was like the #1 game. Everyone was gaming. Everyone was a gaming YouTuber back then. Most of them, at least. Most of the people that I watched, at least. And Call of Duty was the one game that everyone was playing and everyone was wanting to make YouTube videos about. So I remember buying a Hauppauge HD PVR, which was the one recording device that every single YouTuber had back then, in order to capture gameplay and put it on a TV screen or put it on a computer screen. And I just remember buying this thing. I think it cost around $140 to $200. And I remember buying this thing thinking, man, I'm really about to become a gaming YouTuber. And it began with Call of Duty, although because the Call of Duty scene was so saturated back then, I mean, imagine how it is now, but back then, and because it was so saturated, I decided to go a different route. And I decided to do Let's Plays because they were so popular back then. And I decided to play indie games and just other games that weren't necessarily as popular but were just as fun as AAA games. And I stumbled upon The Walking Dead because also back then, around 2010, 11, 12, zombies were the mainstream hit back then. Everything was about zombies. If it was Call of Duty zombies, if it was Walking Dead, if it was World War Z, if it was DayZ, if it was anything zombie related, anyone watched it. But I had a soft spot for The Walking Dead because I started watching the television series and I found out that there was a game that came out, and I said, hey, let me give it a shot. So I decided to play it, and I said, wow, this like everything about it was like such a different experience. Everything about playing that game was such a different experience that I began theorizing on the spot. I began wondering what was going to happen next, and I decided not necessarily to take my channel in that direction full time, but I wanted to make a sub-series in my channel based around making theories about that video game because I was just so hooked on to the storyline. And that's where The Turning Dead came from. It wasn't its own channel in the beginning. It was a series on this channel just based around not only The Walking Dead, but just zombies in general. I just had such a fixated craze on The Walking Dead, on the video game, on zombies, and I wanted to make sure that I gave it the justice that it did. Little did I know it was gonna blow up. So I remember prior to that happening, I had about 200 subscribers. I think around that time, that was when I started playing The Walking Dead. And that was solely, mind you, based off of, making gaming videos about other games and talking about like the whole relationship advice stuff. I had 200 subscribers at that point, and I think it's crazy, just to even get 200 people to watch your videos. And I remember a lot of the names. I remember Break the Code YJF. I remember Cameron Shand. Anyone remember Cameron Shand, the theorist? Yeah, great guy. I miss him. I remember a lot of the names, and it's just like I remember those times. I remember when I was making videos, sitting in front of a computer screen, recording myself, talking over gameplay and uploading it. And I think about where we are now, and it's like it's come full circle. You're kind of watching something similar. You're watching Call of Duty Zombies on the screen right now. And I just remember how far I came, just going from there. And then I got a partnership. I think around when I was about around 1,000 subscribers, I got a partnership with Maker Studios. And I remember back then it was, Machinima was the gold standard of gaming partnerships that you wanted. And because I wasn't big enough to get on Machinima, I had to, go a different route. And I said, hey, well, I don't necessarily want to be a gaming channel, but I do want to incorporate gaming in it. I want it to be a vlog style channel. I want it to be a podcasting style channel. I want it to be a talking head type channel where I just sit in front of a camera or a microphone and just start talking about something that I'm passionately interested in, which is why The Walking Dead was such a big hit for me, because I was so passionately interested when the game came out, and I made a whole thing about theories. And so I got the partnership, and that was right around when The Turning Dead blew up, the series in general. And I think it was kind of like a 90% to 10% viewership of people wanted to watch The Turning Dead over anything else. And in a way, I was very proud of it. But part of me was very, I don't want to say disappointed, but it was confused. Part of me was very confused, wondering why none of the other videos were taking off the way The Turning Dead did. So in order to avoid self-sabotage on this channel, I decided to create The Turning Dead as its own channel, and I wanted this channel to be the main channel of my own, and surprisingly to no one, The Turning Dead channel actually was the one that blew up more than this channel. And I think it peaked around 15,000 subscribers just between all the Let's Plays, all the theory videos, all the theory breakdown videos. And I think that to me was, that was my pride and joy. The Turning Dead was my pride and joy. Not just because of the success it had, but because we created a community when we did it, and I enjoyed reading people's theories. I enjoyed not only hearing myself talk, but hearing what other people had to say. And it gave me so many ideas. It gave me so much inspiration. It got me involved in a world that I didn't ever think I was going to get involved in before. So when The Turning Dead, ended up having its success, to me, it was like, I remember at that point in time, I wanted to push doing YouTube, not necessarily full time, but a lot more committed than I was before. And around the peak of this channel and The Turning Dead, I started uploading twice a day on both channels. Crazy, I know, it's ridiculous. I don't know how I had the time to do all of that, but I did. And it was such a proud moment for me just to be able to get through that. I had never in my life at that point thought that I was ever going to have any presence on the internet, but I did. And then The Turning Dead faced a lot of copyright strikes, and eventually it shut down. And back then, copyright strikes were kind of hard to fight. I used a lot of music that wasn't mine prior to becoming a bigger channel, becoming a bigger presence. And back then, fair use was kind of like an arbitrary term that no one really knew how to use, but it was kind of like it was either a get out of jail free card, or it was a you got yourself in trouble and you're just trying to cover up your tracks card. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But in the advent of monetization and copyrighted music and copyrighted content in general, it was very difficult to get out of channel strikes. And unfortunately, the Turning Dead, because it was a bigger channel and because it had a lot of, you know, a lot of the situations that it went through between copyrighted content and just even content that wasn't necessarily original to my own, it unfortunately bit the bullet. And it still breaks my heart to this day, because I always wonder to myself, how far could that channel have been? How far could that channel have gone? How much of a community could we have created if we had kept going with that channel? And, you know, I think part of when I decided to come back to YouTube, I thought about the Turning Dead. I thought about, you know, trying to recreate that. And I know it's going to be hard. I know that it's going to be a lot of work to get back there. But I'm fairly confident that if I do what I did before and, you know, give a little more modern twist to it, I think that I can pull something similar to it. And, you know, that's a huge reason why it meant so much to me to make the theme song for the Turning Dead. Because I feel like whenever anyone hears that theme song, whenever anyone hears those guitar chords, whenever anyone hears and sees the introduction, they know what's going to happen, and they know all the feelings, and they relive what they experienced in the Walking Dead video game. And I want to say that, you know, surprise, surprise, I'm going to start playing The Walking Dead again starting tomorrow, because I want to relive that. I want to relive what I felt when I first started playing that game. And I want to go starting from episode 1 throughout season 1, 2, and just continuing on all the way until the end. And I want to relive that again. And I want to relive it with you guys. I want to play it on this channel, and I want to be able to react live to the episodes that I never got to play with you guys. Anyways, that was Storytime Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have a memory about my channel, depending on how long you've been a subscriber for, I'm genuinely curious how many people have been subscribers from day one, and at what point did you subscribe to the channel? At what point, and if you remember what video or what theory or what moment in my channel and my video making made you drawn to my content. And if you'd like to see that stuff again, I'm more than happy to bring it back. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday. Take care. Bye.